know for a fact, these are not spoken. We know for a fact that no one wants this spoken. Yeah. And we know that this present regime has fundamentally altered Sri Lanka's foreign policy. Yeah. Sri Lanka has traditionally been a very pro-US, pro-Western country ever since its independence. It has been that. To a point where in the 80s, when there was the Cold War, you had President Jayawardena, who was openly wooing the United States to actually have a physical presence in Sri Lanka. That upset India, that upset the USSR. And we know that these powers eventually started using Tamil politics and the Tamil resistance in order to create leverage over Sri Lanka, so that you create sufficient pressure so that Sri Lanka comes into the sphere of influence. In a post-Cold War scenario, we know that both India and the United States started working very closely with each other. Sri Lanka was their blue-eyed boy. And this picture got completely ruined when President Mahinda Rajapaksa came in. And it got completely shattered the moment he started wooing China instead. President Rajapaksa has not made, he's not trying to hide that fact, and we all know that that is the fundamental issue here. And so, what this resolution is trying to do is to create sufficient tension for President Rajapaksa, make him sufficiently unpopular, and make him an embarrassment to his electorate sufficiently to bring about regime change. Okay? Now, let me make it very clear. My party has been probably the most ardent critic of President Rajapaksa and his government. But we also make it very clear that his is the sort of the culmination, the most extreme manifestation of something that is much wider and much deeper. President Rajapaksa is just a very pure, crude form of single Buddhist nationalism that is transforming Sri Lanka into an autocracy. Okay? He is not the only problem. Every single government that has been there before him has done the same thing. During the peace process, we all consider Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe as a doubt. The reality is that it is Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe's government that was armed to a point where, when President Rajapaksa took over, he had all the arms to start the war. No one talks about that. No one talks about that. Opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe today has made it very clear that he does not want the army to be investigated.